into the future. Meet Sherlock Holmes, a man of few words and incredible intuition.
We've picked up a trail.
Join Scotland Yard's Inspector Lestrade and Dr. John Watson. Catch an all-new Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century next Saturday morning at 7, only on Fox Kids.
Alright, is this scene on? Yeah, okay. Hi, welcome to Animated Antiques, a show where we take a look back at the history of some older cartoons and anime, and also see if they still hold up today. For this episode, we're talking about Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century focuses on a revived Sherlock Holmes in the year 2103, more than 200 years since the character's death in The Final Problem. Together with a robot version of Dr. John Watson and a new Inspector Lestrade from the new Scotland Yard, they solve mysteries and tackle crimes largely committed by Sherlock's greatest rival, Professor James Moriarty.
I simply use my eyes and my brain. For example, eyes. You hunched over to appear short and astute, yet you walked most rapidly for an old man, with unseemingly long strides. Then, in your effort to appear old and shabby, you found well-used clothes which were far too small for your great height. Brain? No one at the lodge knew Watson was a doctor. Finally, eyes again. You should never let your enemies see you sweat, especially when you're wearing makeup. Eyes and brains, Moriarty. Eyes and brains.
Ah, you're a cool one, Holmes. It shall be your undoing. Eyes and brains aren't everything. Sherlock!
The series first aired in 1999 and was created with a partnership between DIC Productions and Scottish Television Enterprises. According to a MIPCOM report from 1996, a Scottish television executive named Sandy Ross came up with the idea for the show, while he and the senior vice president of DIC Productions at the time, Robbie London, were skiing in Colorado. They both believed that the show's mixing of both the mystery and the science fiction genres, as well as the recognition of the brand of Sherlock Holmes, would make this truly unique among other animated shows at the time. As well as blending genres, the show also blended animation styles. It used CGI for its flying cars and buildings and used a more standard 2D look for its characters and locations. The 2D animation all still looks great, however, the CGI used at the time is showing its age. Personally, I don't think it looks too bad, but it definitely looks out of place. And I can see it warding off newcomers who are watching the show for the first time here in 2020. It first aired over in the UK on CITV in the spring of 1999, then eventually moved over to the States in the fall. Over here, it aired on Fox Kids for the first season, and then moved into syndication for the second and final one. Overall, the show finished having only 26 episodes under its belt. Each episode of the show followed a different mystery, each one being directly inspired by the actual stories written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, many of which having the same titles as those stories, such as The Hounds of Baskerville, The Crooked Man, and The Adventure of the Empty House. Others changed the names a little bit. For example, The Adventure of the Dying Detective was changed into The Adventure of the Deranged Detective, and The Adventure of the Barrel Coronet changed to The Adventure of the Barrel Board. Some of these episodes were just simple adaptations of the stories to fit the futuristic setting, while others were completely different from their original sources. If you're a fan of the original Sherlock Holmes mysteries, it is so much fun to see how much they've changed them to fit the 22nd century. Speaking of the 22nd century, originally the show was going to be set in the 21st century, but when they were creating the show, they assumed that the show wasn't going to air until 1998 at the earliest. And with that being only 2 years before the turn into the 21st century, they thought they should move it further into the future so they could make it look even more futuristic. So, because of that, they changed it to the 22nd century instead.
New London, May 25th, 2103. Subject identified, Martin Fenwick. Parole violation. Failure to report for crypnotic programming renewal. Other vehicle reported stolen. 0200 from Piccadilly Circus. Collision alert.
Huh?
The show began airing in 1999 to moderate success, enough to warrant a second season after all. It started to see some home releases. A couple episodes here and there released on VHS and eventually DVD. This happened up through around 2003, about 2 years after the show ended. And then we heard nothing at all about the show until around 2012, when Mill Creek Entertainment released a box set of all 26 episodes. This box set not only included those 26 episodes, but also includes select episodes from Stargate Infinity, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Flight Squad, and Liberty Kids. I have no idea why they did that though. The set is now discontinued, but you can find it on eBay for a whopping $11. Since then, they did a re-release of the complete series in 2018 though, that people can buy if they so wish. So yeah, the show was never really popular, and it didn't get a lot of acclaim. However, it was nominated for a Daytime Emmy in 2001 for Outstanding Special Class Animated Program. It went up against the likes of Angela Anaconda, Buzz Lightyear Star Command, Batman Beyond, and of course, Roughneck, the Starship Troopers Chronicles. Naturally, the Emmy went to Batman Beyond, but it's still very cool for Sherlock to have been nominated at all. Overall, the series is a fun watch. It has interesting mysteries, good characters, and some not that great CGI. And due to that last part, it doesn't hold up 100%, so would I still recommend someone to watch it and give it a chance today? Well...
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
yeah. Yes, I would. So that was episode 1 of Animated Antiques. If you made it this far to the end of the video, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed our little history lesson, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to hear when the next episode will be up. If you want to watch or rewatch Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, there are links in the description to where you can watch it legally online. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.